Jungkook cries as he confides in Jimin. ARMY is devastated to see Jimin's reaction. Shocking news again came from the world of K-pop, especially from BTS, who always manage to make ARMY get carried away with the interaction of the members. This time, an emotional moment occurred between Jungkook and Jimin, two figures who are often said to have the closest bond in the group. Jungkook, known as the Golden Magne with a strong and confident image, instead, he showed his fragile side when he cried when he poured out his heart to Jimin, according to rumors. This moment happened unexpectedly when the two were talking in a more private setting and away from the glare of the big cameras. Jungkook is reportedly carrying a heavy burden, both because of work pressure and personal feelings that he has hidden himself. And when he finally let go of all his feelings, the tears were no longer unstoppable. What made this moment even more emotional was Jimin's reaction. ARMY, who saw footage and stories from the moment, admitted that he was hit and moved by Jimin's attitude. Instead of panicking or confused, Jimin looked at Jungkook patiently and gave a small smile that seemed soothing. He didn't say much, but his warm embrace was enough to make Jungkook feel understood. Jimin's sincere reaction actually confirmed how deep the bond between the two was. For ARMY, this is not just an emotional moment, but real proof that BTS is not just a bunch of idols. They're a family that supports each other in every way, good or bad. Not a few fans wrote comments full of emotion on social media. Some even admitted to crying when they imagined Jungkook, who was usually cheerful, was now at a fragile point, and only Jimin was able to calm him down. This moment immediately became a heated discussion because many of the ARMY were touched by how Jimin faced Jungkook. They believe that the bond of the two is not something far-fetched. Rather, it comes purely from the friendship that has been established since the beginning of their journey. After Jungkook's tears began to fall, a moment of silence was created between him and Jimin. Jungkook tried to hold back his tears, but the hoarseness and tremors from his breathing couldn't be hidden. He lowered his head, his hands squeezed his uniform pants firmly as if looking for a handle. Then finally, he said in a hoarse voice, "Young, I feel like a failure. I couldn't take care of everything as well as I expected." Those words made Jimin's chest tighten. Jungkook always wanted to be perfect. The nickname Golden Magne attached to him seemed to be a burden that never really came off. Jungkook is often seen cheerful, full of energy, and always professional on stage. But underneath it all, there is a human side that few people see, a fragile side that demands attention, compassion, and understanding. Jimin then moved slowly, approached, and gently patted Jungkook on the shoulder. He did not immediately speak at length. Instead, he waited until Jungkook himself was ready to let out all his heart. This is what made ARMY so touched. Jimin didn't impose advice. He just attended, sat aside, and became a safe place for Jungkook to collapse for a moment. After a few minutes, Jungkook continued in a low voice, "I'm sorry, Young. Sorry I couldn't always protect you. Sometimes I'm too busy thinking about myself, but you're always there for me. I don't feel enough for you." It was a blow to the ARMY who heard it. How deeply sorry Jungkook was, how he looked at Jimin not just as a colleague, but someone who was so important to him. And Jimin's reaction? He just smiled, then took Jungkook's hand, holding it tightly. "Jungkook," Jimin said in a calm but firm voice, "you've had enough. You are never alone, and you have never failed in my eyes. You always take care of me, even when you don't realize you're doing it. So don't ever feel that way again." When the sentence came out, Jungkook finally couldn't help himself. He cried even more, this time not just out of remorse, but out of a sense of relief. ARMY, who imagined the moment, was moved because the relationship between the two really looked sincere. No pretense, no distance, just two hearts understanding each other amid the harshness of the world. The moment was also a reminder to many that even a strong figure like Jungkook can be fragile, and she was lucky to have Jimin, who was always home, where she could cry without fear of being judged. As soon as the news of Jungkook's crying while confiding in Jimin spread, ARMY around the world immediately filled social media with various hashtags of support. Twitter, Instagram, and Weverse are filled with messages of love for Jungkook, ranging from "You're never alone, Jungkook" to "Jimin is his safe place." Many fans wrote that they burst into tears just by imagining the depth of pain and regret Jungkook expressed. However, what makes this moment even more emotional is the way ARMY sees Jimin's response. His warm smile, his grasp of her hand, and simple but meaningful words of encouragement became a big conversation. Many fans wrote that Jimin is not just a group mate or best friend, but really like home for Jungkook. The relationship between the two seemed to reflect the true meaning of friendship and family. Even the Korean media is silent. Articles began to appear with titles highlighting Jungkook's fragile side, something rarely seen in public. One of the media wrote, "Behind the stage, Jungkook is just a young man carrying a big burden." Fortunately, he is Jimin who always accompanies. International media have highlighted their relationship as an example of an unusually strong bond in an often violent and stressful entertainment industry. Meanwhile, psychologists interviewed by several news portals emphasize that moments like this are very important for the mental health of an idol. The fact that Jungkook was able to cry and express his deepest regret in front of Jimin shows how important emotional support is in maintaining the mental balance of an artist who is always in the center of public attention. On the other hand, ARMY also talked about how this moment showed the human side of BTS. For many fans, seeing Jungkook cry is not a sign of weakness, but rather proof that he is still a human being with deep emotions. Instead, it made ARMY feel even closer, as if the wall between idol and fan collapsed for a moment. Many fans said that after that moment, they felt more and more appreciative of Jungkook and Jimin's relationship. We may never know their whole story, but one thing is clear, they always looked out for each other. Not only that, there was also a discussion on major ARMY forums about how Jungkook's cry this time was different. Usually, he cries because of a happy moment or a great achievement. But this time, her tears were born of a sense of regret and longing, something much deeper and touching. After Jungkook shed his tears, the room was silent. ARMY watching live could almost feel that emotional tension. Jungkook still rubbed his eyes with the back of his hand, trying to hide his reddened face. But just at that moment, Jimin approached even more, holding out a tissue while saying in a soft voice, "You know, crying doesn't make you weak. It just shows that your heart is sincere." The words made Jungkook turn his head, as if seeking confidence from Jimin's gaze. And sure enough, Jimin looked at him calmly, as if to say that he would always be by Jungkook's side. That simple moment instantly made thousands of comments come in on the live streaming screen. The song features the lyrics, "Jimin is truly Jungkook's safe place and my heart can't take this." Not wanting the atmosphere to dissolve too long in sadness, Jimin then tried to melt the atmosphere with his trademark humor. He smiled a little and said, "If you keep crying like this, the ARMY will think I made you sad. I always try to make you laugh." Jungkook, who initially was still holding back sobs, finally smiled a little, even laughed softly. That was an incredible moment of transition. From such an emotional cry, it turns into a warm smile, all because of the presence of Jimin, who knows exactly how to calm Jungkook. ARMY who watched immediately wrote that the interaction was like a scene in a movie, a true story about two people who take care of each other without the need for many words.